Tonight, the internal opposition to controversial move to force several key NDC executives to resign their positions in the party following the unprecedented number of party executives appointed by President Mahama to serve in his government.
My elected position is for 4 years. I'm minister today.
But on your own volition.
Tomorrow morning, the president says he's fired me. What happens? I am of the opinion that this decision can only be taken by Congress.
We hear from the national chairman who had sounded the alarm about the potential impact on the party.
One of the things we are grappling with is finding ways of filling vacancies created by the appointment within the party structure. People haven't been, if you like, poached from party to government, and so you have to find replacements. So it is so unprecedented.
We have details from a tense National Executive Committee meeting of the NDC that ended inconclusively. Well, the governing National Democratic Congress is facing an unprecedented test with a controversial move that may force several key party executives to resign their positions. The National Executive Committee has been in a tense meeting today, considering whether to force out more than half of its 7 national officers, mostly elected at the last party Congress. The party has, in the last few months, been struggling to function at its optimum after President Mahama appointed what National Chairman Johnson Asiodun Ketia describes as an unprecedented number of party officers into his government. Already, some government appointees who hold party positions are objecting to any move to force them out. We'll hear from the Minister for Youth and the Youth Development shortly. But first, listen to the National Chairman raise the alarm when he recently spoke to Evans, Mensah.
One of the things we are grappling with is finding ways of filling vacancies created by the appointments within the party structure.
Within the parties, this is not in government, this is not public in the public institutions. This is the party.
Within the party structure, that is, people haven't been, if you like, poached from party to government, and so you have to find replacements. So it is so unprecedented. In the past, you have a few of them, and there are processes within the Constitution that can be applied to fill those vacancies. Now, this year is unprecedented in the sense that our rules may require that if the National Youth Organizer, for instance, is appointed as a minister, then you push a deputy National Youth Organizer to become acting National Youth Organizer. But you have a situation where the National Youth Organizer is appointed, the Deputy National Youth Organizer is second deputy is appointed. So the youth organization at the headquarters level is completely depleted, and you need to fashion a way of getting new people to operate there. And I'm just using the youth wing as an example. There are other cases where such things exist, and so it's one of the issues we are grappling with, which very soon we'll be able to.
But some of these positions are elected positions.
Yes.
So how are you going to fix that problem?
Well, we are in the discussions yet. We will be calling a National Executive Committee meeting to deal with that, but we have a principle, an age-old principle of one man, one position, which we have applied consistently in the past. And it reflects in the vetting for parliamentary primaries. If you are holding a party position and you present yourself to be considered for election in the parliamentary primaries, you have to resign your position in the party before you are approved to participate in the primaries. It has happened several times. So
you're saying that you currently, because you're in government, you cannot hold a government position and hold a party position at the same time?
Not government position in a generic sense, but there are certain government positions which will occupy you full time. So you may not be able to function well as a person who is holding party position. For instance, Dr. Mahama, who used to be, or who is still our director of elections, is now Minister for Defense. How he's going to combine his work as Director of Elections and Minister of Defense.
And his deputy has also been appointed.
And his deputy is also appointed. So these are things that we will be looking at in the coming weeks and be able to resolve.
The criticism from the MPP is that you should have immediately, when the government nominations came and some party executives were appointed, immediately, as a good governance measure, terminated their roles in the party so that they can focus on government. And now you have people who are party officers holding government positions, and that is not good governance. How do you respond to that?
That impacts on the running of the party, because invariably they will choose to do state service at the detriment of the party. So if we are suffering, as a party, I don't see how it concerns MPP. And so that's what we are taking steps to address.
Now, the NDC National Executive Committee, we understand, has been in a meeting on this issue, considering whether to force several of the current executives who are also serving in government out. We have the latest from that particular meeting for you, Shirley. But first, how many party executives may be affected? My colleague Caleb Zibling with the research desk joins me with details. Caleb, what do we know?
A total of 16 NDC executives who have either been appointed into various roles in the current NDC government.
Okay.
And to break it down, we have 7 of them as national executives. So 7 national executives have currently been appointed by the NDC government. We have 5 appointed executives, appointed NDC executives appointed into the government, and we have 4 regional executives.
So when you say 5, these are national executives?
So national, we have 7. And so I'm going to run you through them. We have the national chairman, Asedu Nketia. He has been appointed the board chair of Ghana Ports and Harbour.
Okay.
Then we have Mustafa Bandi, the deputy general secretary. He is now director of operations at the presidency. We have Sami Jemfi, who is the communications officer of the party. He is now the CEO of Gold Board. We have Malik Basintali, the deputy communications. He is also CEO of the Youth Empowerment Agency. Then we have Hannah Bisu, the women's organizer. She's also the Mineral Development Funds administrator. Then we have George Opari Adu. He's now who is the youth organizer. He's now the youth minister. And we have Osman Ayariga. He's the deputy youth organizer, who is now the CEO of the National Youth Authority. That's 7 national executives in total. And then when you come down to the appointed executives, so the NDC, they have some appointed executives. These ones,
the elected ones. Okay.
Exactly.
So the ones you mentioned are the elected ones.
The elected ones.
Okay.
Yes. So we have the appointed ones, which the first one is the Director of Legal Affairs. That's Edrudi. We have Director of Legal Affairs, Edrudi Tamaklu. He's the CEO of the NPA. We have Omani Boama. He's the Director of Elections. He's now the Defense Minister. We have his deputy Director of Elections. That's Tanko Computer. Tanko Computer. He's now the CEO of GIFEC. We have Roger Jemfi. He was the Deputy Director of Special Duties for the NDC. He's now the Deputy Defense Minister. And we have Joshua Alabi. He's the Vice Chair of the National Executive Council of the NDC. He's also the board chair for Ghana Commercial Bank. Then we have the regional as well. We have 4 of them, at least 4 of them. We have the Ashanti Regional Secretary. He is now the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwako-Hene. We have the OT Regional Chairman, John Kojo Japon. He is now the OT Regional Minister. We have James Gunu. He was the Volta Regional Secretary, and he's now the Volta Regional Minister. And lastly, we have Charles Luanga. He was the Upper West Regional Secretary, and he's now the Upper West Regional Minister.
So we also have the Western Regional Secretary, who is now the Western Regional Minister.
Yes.
Is he captured there?
Yeah, we couldn't get the list is a long list.
It's a long one.
So we have at least 16 executives on the NDC who have now been appointed into government. 7 of them are national executives who have been appointed.
Okay.
We have 4 of them appointed executives, and we have 4 regional executives who have now been made regional ministers.
I'm grateful to you, Caleb, for that. Already some government appointees who hold party positions are objecting to any move to force them out. Listen to the National Youth Organizer of the NDC, George Operado, who is also the Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment.
This is an issue that is coming before our neck to whether we should resign or we should not resign. Even I have an elected mandate for 4 years. I don't believe that the work I do as Minister for Youth Development conflicts with my work as National Youth Organizer. We have certain members of Parliament who go to their constituencies every month, every week, and go and work. And also sit in as ministers. And there's been no conflict whatsoever. So if I was an MP and I was a minister, would I be conflicted? No. So if I still serve as National Youth Organizer and I am Minister of State, there is no conflict because there are 2 independent roles. And my work as Youth Organizer and my work as Minister are 2 distinct things. It's just like being an MP and serving your constituents and also being a minister and serving the states. There are 2 distinct roles. If NEC comes up strongly and says that we should resign, maybe. But I remember making it very clear to them at NEC, at FEC, that it's a constitutional issue, and so we must relook at our constitution as a party. In 2009, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu was National Youth Organizer until 2010, when we went to Congress, and then a new National Youth Organizer was elected in the person of Ludwig Roger.
Which year is this?
2009.
I asked that deliberately, yes. But this is a year of resetting.
Yes. No,
Things have changed.
I'm saying that when we go to NEC, tomorrow we have a NEC meeting as a party. And when NEC decides that this is what should happen,
you would comply?
Of course. I'm a member of the party. I'm a law-abiding citizen. And I have so much respect for the party. It's because of the NDC. That is why you graciously hosted me in your studio.
True.
So whatever that will put the party in good stead and make the party look right in the eyes of the people, I will comply.
Why don't you take the unilateral step to do so?
Even as I contested,
because the party's meeting, in fact, in the same chair, Asiodun Ketia was here. I asked him that question. He was worried about
because they are constitutional
the challenges exactly that are opposed. Focus on the party, focus on the government.
Because they are constitutional issues. You see, nobody can unilaterally say A or B. My elected position is for 4 years. I'm minister today.
But on your own volition.
Tomorrow morning, the president says he's fired me. What happens? Exactly. So,
but you accepted the job. It's an offer. You accepted to be a governor.
And I'm saying no problem. I'm saying that let's go to NEC tomorrow. I am of the opinion that this decision can only be taken by Congress. But if NEC, which is the second highest decision-making body, decides to take that decision, then I will have to come and define which positions should resign. Because if I am a minister, if I'm a deputy minister, if I'm a CEO, if I'm a board chair, if I'm a presidential staffer, or it's just only ministers, we need to define it clearly. Who does this decision affect? Does it affect board chairmen? Does it affect only ministers? Does it affect only presidential staffers? We need to broadly agree as a party. And I am of the opinion that it is only Congress that can come up with this. We need to amend our constitution because we've been here before. In 2009, we were here. So we should have used that opportunity to fix it. But there is nothing wrong. We are here today. If we have to fix it, then let's fix it now. So that tomorrow, we don't have to go back and forth again.
Well, this is still top story brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies, and I've been joined on the line by Mustafa Bande, who's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and also one who has an appointment in this government as Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency. Mustafa, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now, what was the decision which was arrived at on this particular issue at NEC today?
Well, so thank you very much, and good evening to our cherished listeners. I think basically there was no clash of ideas, but there was a deep reflective discussion into rationalizing the matter. There have been various schools of thought. There are some who feel that the magnanimity of the president to have appointed large number of party executives into government is one that is positive, but our party is a war machine, and that war machine must be rationalized in a manner that will be ready, able, strong, functional enough to win election any day, any time. And so therefore, there are others who believe that executives whose role, affects the effective running of the party should pave way for other persons to be appointed. And there are others who believe that, well, it's just an issue of dual role. So if people can discharge their functions vis-a-vis being in government and being in party, I think we should allow it to go. Having discussed, the General Secretary and the National Chairman have listened and decided that the matter be deferred for further consultation. Regions are supposed to go and hold these meetings with their constituencies so that by the time we convene again, there would have been enough discussion on the matter to enable us rationalize the two, in order that whilst individuals are within government helping the president to fulfill his vision and his mandate, there is also a space for us to rebuild, strengthen our party to be ready to function as an entity any day, any time. But let me also state that I was a bit lucky. Either way, the decision doesn't affect myself.
Why?
Because according to my superior, my role is more of a liaison between the party and government in the Jubilee House. Much as I discharge my competent duties as a deputy director, I'm also there to liaise between the party and government. As much as the president is a leader of the party, there are decisions that operationally require the involvement of the party at that level. And so either ways, I am not, affected. There have also been a discussion by the General Secretary and National Chairman on which category of appointees may be affected by this decision. And all of us at the meeting were very clear, and we knew the people who it was going to affect. It doesn't cover the wide range of appointments to sections of people.
So which categories are these?
It affects, for example, if you look at persons who are serving as DC, regional ministers, at the national level, ministers and CEOs, those are the category of individuals that are affected. So appointments like boards and the usual youth and employment appointments, NADMO coordinators and all of these things, in line of the discussion are not affected. And that was the line of conversation. And so for me, I think that it's been a good discussion. It's a progressive one to the extent that the president have undertaken a novelty to strengthen and to explore the human resource competence of a party in governing a country. And so for me, it's a good step to discuss and dispense the issues along strengthening our party at the same time.
So once we do know that some category of appointees may be affected, even though even though the issue has been deferred, do we know when that effectiveness of people like the DCs, the RM, the regional ministers and CEOs will be asked to probably leave their positions and focus on government business?
Well, so for example, my majority leader made a very illustrative, remarks on the floor that was taken into account, which led to the deferment of this matter for further consultation. But we didn't fix time, so I'm sure that within the next few weeks or days, the regions should be able to convene the same meeting at their involving constituencies to also pick their views on the matter, because, mind you, this discussion stretches up to the constituency level. So persons who will be affected at the level of the constituency should also be given the right to make inputs into the matter. And so within the next, possible reasonable days, we should be able to conclude, and based on the discretion of the National Chairman and General Secretary, would reconvene to look into the matter. It is not to victimize or to get anybody out, but the discussion was centered around, one, making sure that people are able to serve in their capacities effectively and efficiently as government appointees, and also ensuring that the party is functioning effectively and stronger on the ground, given whatever the scenarios may be. And so that is where we are as a party.
Okay. But for people who will be asked to leave the executive and focus on government functionary, it means that you would automatically appoint people to fill their positions, right?
That is what, if we get to that bridge, that is what will be the case.
But from what I understand, it means that you will get to this bridge in the next few months, if not days.
We are getting to a bridge where we are coming back to discuss further into the issues, given the inputs that will come from the ground. The National Chairman and General Secretary made it very clear that at that point, they didn't have a particular stand on the matter. They want to depend on the discussion between individuals who will be affected, individuals who are not affected, and also the National Executive Committee meeting. At that forum, the discussion will be dispassionate and dealing with the issues as one that strengthens, like I said, the party, and one that ensures that persons who have been appointed will apply themselves to national responsibility and be able to serve in the capacity that His Excellency the President expects them to serve.
Okay.
And so we will be back to look at whether or not the scenario have been studied and the implications are revealing enough.
When are you expected back on this particular matter?
I'm looking at a month or a month and a half or two.
Okay.
We should be back. But the other school of thought that believe that we should study the matter for a year.
Okay.
By
All right.
would have been close to re-electing new executives. And of course, the cap can be sealed when you are going to contest, so that the election regulation would have captured to say that if you are an appointee, then you cannot run a particular position or the other. So they are very...
I'm grateful to you, Mustafa Gbandide. He is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Henry Nana Boakye is National Organizer of the MPP. He joins us on the line as well. Nana, you went for your National Delegate Conference just this weekend, and this was one of the issues that you considered. What's your position on this matter?
Thank you very much. I think the leadership of the NDC should be decisive and should be straightforward with us. Mustafa is just fumbling with grammar and then construction of or putting together some sentences and throwing it around. Look, in specifically 10th May 2017, the National Council of the MPP, I recall, issued a directive that all party officials who had been appointed at that time to governmental positions by His Excellency the President or the former President, Anadan Kojo, should resign from their political party roles in adherence to best practices in governance and accountability. And it is crucial to underscore that the necessity of adherence to proper and good governance practices, right, in line with constitutional and legal positions, must guide conduct of public officers. Kojo, let's consider Section 2 of the Public Service Act, the Public Service Act, Act 458. This act, or this particular provision, prohibits public officers from engaging in any business or holding any other positions that might undermine their impartiality and efficiency in their conduct, especially when they occupy such official positions. And this is clear. Look, we recall that when we were in power at that time, there were quite a number of people who resigned. I recall that Peter Mewu, Archibald Lecha, those times, Uchiku Afita Jaba, he was the national women organizer, he had been appointed as a minister. Too much Amina Duncan, Ishmael Ashipi, and even the current general secretary. He was then the Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer. He had received an appointment to be the head of Youth Employment Agency, and he had to resign. In fact, including his deputy, Alhaji Pachu, they all resigned. When I was the deputy executive director at National Service Secretariat, and I was elected the National Youth Organizer in 2018, I resigned a month after. So they must be decisive. Look, it is not proper that you have a host of NDZ guys who are holding their political positions or their political party positions, and then they are still in government. They are hosted ministers.
So you agree with the chairman that these people should resign their position?
As soon as possible.
Okay, I'm grateful to you, Henry Nana Boache. Let me bring in Dr. John Osai-Kwapong, who is Democracy and Development Fellow at CDD Ghana. Doc, you've been a follower of Ghana's politics and governance over these years. Where do you stand on this debate? Hello, Doc. Okay, Doc. Kindly start for me. I missed you earlier. Hello, Doc.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly now, yes.
Okay. Yes, so for me, I believe that you must keep party business as distinct and separate as much as you can from government business. And so crisscrossing the two as a matter of good governance practices, I have issues and challenges with. So I would like a situation where if you look at some of the things that Mr. Siedun Ketia was trying to explain, right, that you need people who to run the party, and then you need others who would focus, on government business. I don't have a problem if after an election, the elected president looks at his party and says, there are people in the party that I can bring into government to help me govern. I don't have issues with that. But I think once you cross over from party into government, that for me, to be able to just focus on just doing government business and keeping the lines as separate and as distinct as possible, focus on government work and leave party work for party officials to do. It's a little tricky here. It is much easier to deal with those whose positions in the party were appointed, right? It's much easier to impress upon them to say, now that you are holding a deputy ministerial position, a CEO position, can you quote unquote resign and then focus on your government work? That is, I think, much easier to deal with. The more difficult proposition has to do with those who were elected. And you have to take into consideration when they were elected, how much they have left in terms of their term of office, and how do you reconcile that? And I think that is something that you would have to deal with beyond just a NEC meeting. I think it would require some fundamental changes to the party's constitution to be able to resolve that. But overall, yes, I take the position that allow party people to focus on party work and allow government appointees to do government work. And should you cross over from party to government, the best thing for me to do then would be to leave that party role and focus on your government work.
Grateful to you, Dr. John Osai-Kwapong, Democracy and Development Fellow there, CDD, Ghana. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel Connect. And Energy's up next is Newsnight.
In the next 60 minutes here on Newsnight, scholarship shake-up as government pushes bold reforms in controversial scholarship bill that will cut off relatives of politicians and ban state funding for studies abroad.
It's in the bill that certain people of political class, no family member of mine can have access programs that are being taught here locally. The state must not spend money.
We have details as government insists on going ahead with the reforms despite agitations from grassroots NDC members.
When he heard of the bill, he came to me, pardon me, he said, I said, President Mahama is a promise keeper and I will support him. Keep that.
Even if it costs you?
They would understand eventually.
Also tonight, government expenditure, taxes, nurses recruitment and more to take center stage in the 2025 mid-year budget review as the government notifies the IMF of its decision to cap public sector wage increases at 10%.
The stability did not bring cost of utilities down. Interest rate is still very high.
To recalculate how the whole VAT vis-a-vis the levies are computed. Our hope is that this budget will seek to address that as well.
We're in Parliament tonight where we are learning that government will not be asking for more funds. Stay with us for that ahead of the mid-year budget review tomorrow. And also tonight, government performs its first ever cardiac ablation procedure to correct irregular heartbeats.
These people, it's not because of any particular risk factors or any particular lifestyle choices, but they're born with it.
In business, government directs Lands Commission to decentralize operation to all districts in the country, whilst giving up to 90 days as turnaround for all applications.
And in sports, Ghana's Black Satellite defeat Niger to secure bronze in the WAFU B Under-20 tournament. Bring you details shortly.
And then later, the Parliamentary charm offensive. Speaker Alban Babing alerts MPs on the new sworn-in MP.
Please hold your fire. Let the speaker swear in the young lady. I know you didn't take her phone number. You can get it afterwards.
I want to hear from you tonight. 05511119997. Details after this.
Small money day, big money day, way too much money day. Telecel too much money promo drop. If you dial *500#, then join them for the Telecel too much money promo inside. You will win 100 Ghana cedis cash for the daily draws, 20,000 Ghana cedis for the weekly draws, then 1.2 million Ghana cedis for the grand draw inside. That be 1.2 million Ghana cedis. You for just reload airtime, then get points wey fit make you win. Make you dial *500# or go the Telecel Play app top. Then book inside riders give the Telecel too much money promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo will be NLA way they regulate them for the Caritas Lottery platform top.
Ade. Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me die now my God with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302-681582. This advert is FDA approved.
You're live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, in a move to curb perceived favoritism, government is reigniting talks on a contentious scholarship bill that will slam the door shut on state-funded scholarships for close relatives of politicians. After facing fierce pushback from civil society groups who cried foul over lack of stakeholder consultation, the bill was pulled from Parliament, but now it's back on the table with a sharper edge. Youth Development and Empowerment Minister George Opariado confirms on PM Express last night that a revised bill now contains a clear provision there that bars relatives of politicians from grabbing state-sponsored scholarships.
Must do something.
How are you dealing with the political influence in the scholarship award process, which really has been the main
It is all in the bill.
How are you dealing with that?
It is
how are you taking politicians away from...
So, for instance, George Opariado, no family member of mine can have access
So you've written it into the bill?
It's in the bill that certain people of political class. So if we don't...
And your relatives? Or just you?
Evans, this is a very difficult question.
No, it's not. It's a very simple one.
One of the things we debated on during the drafting was, so I come from a very big family. The Opariados are all over.
Does the bill as it stands now say you are disqualified because the person says they know you?
So immediate family members.
Okay. So that's the wording.
Immediate family members. But you see, it's a challenge. But I believe strongly that it's unconscionable for people such as me, people like me, who can afford to pay fees, to want to let my people or even myself go and take a scholarship. The necessary consultations were done.
But civil society say no. I mean, I saw Kojo Asante's CDD's post. He was alarmed. He said, stop it.
You see, Evans.
Kofi Asari also started a petition.
Evans, you can't consult everybody. And then we had a bigger technical committee. So usually what we do is you constitute a technical committee. So people like, for instance, somebody like Sam Garba, who was former administrator of the GET Fund, who also administered scholarships during his time, was one of the key technical people on the committee, where I chaired together with the Honorable Haruna Idris as co-chair. And then we put together the bill.
When you go back, you still want to do it once you consult on the certificate of agency?
Of course, yes. Easy. As for the certificate of agency, we will have to, because if we are going to go through the normal processes of passing a bill, Evans, you know that it could take even a year. Are we saying that within a year we will not administer scholarships? Would that be good for us as a country? No.
Well, he also disclosed that some grassroots NDC members are unhappy with the proposal to bar politicians and their close relatives from participating and benefiting from state scholarships. But he says the government will stand its ground.
No, I work with a lot of young people at the youth secretariat.
Yeah.
When he heard of the bill, he came to me and said, he calls me Pablo. Pablo, pardon me. He said, I said, why? We saw how a lot of our cohorts on the other side have been educated and gone to school, and they are coming back with all these big degrees, and what are you telling us? And my response to him was simple. Somebody must get the job done. Unfortunately, I have the unpleasant task of being the one. You didn't put a gun to our head when we said we were going to reset. We made promises to the good people of this country. President Mahama is a promise keeper, and I will support him. Keep that.
Even if it costs you the base of your party, a lot of them young people.
They would understand eventually.
You think they will?
They will eventually. Maybe for now, but eventually. And you see, if the bill is passed, people who are deserving, people who truly deserve to be given that opportunity will get it. Yes, I'm national youth organizer of the NDC. My job is to help Ghana for now because I'm minister for Ghana, not minister for just the NDC. And so whatever we do, the supreme interest of the country should be at the forefront.
Well, we're also learning tonight, as part of the reforms captured in the bill, that the government will also centralize all public scholarships, forcing the likes of GMPC to terminate their individual scholarships and place it under one unified umbrella.
Over the years, that has been abused. And the manner in which scholarship has been administered was like selling tomatoes in the markets. People go and then say, let me pay 10 cedis, let me pay 20 cedis, okay, based on the investigations that the forfeit state did. Yeah. So we wanted to address that challenge. We also wanted to be able to have a standard, because you realize that GNPC is giving scholarships. Get Fund is giving scholarships. And then the scholarship secretariat itself is also giving scholarships. We needed a scholarship regime where if GNPC has funding, put it into a scholarship fund. If Get Fund has funded, put it into a scholarship fund, and then let there be an authority to regulate.
So we have one centralized agency managing all scholarships, all as in public funded scholarships.
Because
so GMPC can no longer do it.
But I don't think
Get Fund.
I don't think it is even proper for a government agency like GMPC to be administering scholarships when there is a scholarship agency.
And then we also know that if you want to go on a government scholarship, then you better choose a course locally, because under this new arrangement in this bill, government will no longer be funding scholarships abroad unless you can prove that you cannot find a course locally.
Also, a lot of the scholarships that people had access to travel abroad, a lot of the programs are being run locally. So if we have that kind of money, why don't we give it to our institutions here to properly equip them so that they can give that?
Is the bill seeking to prohibit state-run scholarships from funding students abroad?
Funding some courses abroad. Okay. So one of the things we are looking at is programs that can be or are being taught here locally. The state must not spend money in sending, for instance, business administration.
So you will not fund a student to go abroad to go and study business administration?
To go and study, when University of Ghana Business School is one of the best in the sub-region.
So in other words, you're saying that...
But we can fund you to go to the University of Ghana Business School if there is a course that is taught locally. Government does not have to spend money to send a student out of this country. What it means is that we have no hope, no confidence in our own institutions. And you see, one of the challenges is our exchange rates. The current bill that I have at the school is over 700 million Ghana cedis in debt that we have to find money to pay.
You mean this from a scholarship?
Yes, the debt that I have inherited as minister.
Just the scholarship secretariat?
Just the scholarship secretariat. There is a debt.
How much is that?
700 million Ghana cedis.
700 million cedis?
Yes.
Of fees that you haven't paid
that we've not paid
across the world.
And so my registrar now has to go around the world and negotiate with schools. And that is what we've been undertaking in the last 4 or 5 months.
I want to bring in Kofi Asare. He's Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch. Daniel Colley-Boche is the President of the National Union of Ghana Students. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time here on Newsnight. Kofi Asare, have you been consulted yet?
I didn't get you.
Have you been consulted yet? I know that's one of the key issues that... Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, Kofi, can you hear me? Okay, we seem to be having a challenge with his connection. Let's see if we can get Daniel Colley-Boche on the line. Hello, Daniel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. I know when this matter first came up, the backlash was that the consultations haven't been broad enough. Have you been brought into the fold now?
Yes, I can confirm that we have now had the consultation.
And you're getting to know a bit more about the clauses in there. We're also learning a bit more tonight. One of the key clauses that the minister had told us about is that once this is passed, a government scholarship will not be given for you to go and study abroad unless that course is not taught in a university or a tertiary institution locally. What do you make of that?
Exactly so. And it was part of the issues that we raised, and it was broadly discussed and accepted. We are spending money to train students in diploma in nursing, business administration, and courses that you can easily get all over the country, even other parts of the country, not necessarily in Accra. And so how do you spend, let's say, $30,000? And that's just fees. And when you send students abroad, you have to pay their stipends, you have to pay their upkeep money and the rest. In the end, you would have spent about $70,000, which could take care of close to about 30 or 40 students locally. And so it's part of the text of the bill, which we agree fully with.
Stay with me. I have Kofi Asare with me. He's Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch. Kofi, I lost you earlier, but I know you had raised concerns about the initial attempt to have this passed and considered under a certificate of urgency in the absence of broader consultations. Have that been fixed now? Have you been consulted yet?
Yes, I must indicate that it wasn't under a certificate of urgency. It was actually gazetted for 21 days, except that we were not aware and we were not consulted in the consultative process. But yesterday in the morning, we had the opportunity to engage the Minister for Education and the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education, together with NUGS and other civil society organizations, on our concerns in relation to the bill.
I presume then that you've seen the bill now.
Yes, we've seen the bill. We've seen the bill in its current state, and then we have made our inputs to the process.
What's the input? Give me one top one.
Well, we were of the opinion that there should be regional balance in the distribution of scholarships to ensure there is equity. And so, among others, as part of our inclusion inputs, we requested that there should be regional balance considering population and the poverty index. We also recommended that in determining the threshold for defining the needy students, the geographical distribution of learning outcomes by way of WASI results, etc., should be factored in, such that, for instance, you won't use one grade to determine who is brilliant. We also made an input in relation to the foreign scholarships issue. Yes, we are happy that the scholarship focuses on only local programs, but we stress the need for limited, very limited foreign scholarships for STEM programs that are not available in country. And even that, we emphasize that should that happen, this must be done on the basis of a faculty-to-faculty partnership, such that the student will go and do year one of the program in a foreign university and come and continue in a local university. In that, you would have built partnership and capacity between the two universities by the time the scholarship ends. So these are these three are a couple of inputs. We made a lot of inputs.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we'll have time to expand on those because this is such an important piece of legislation. Daniel, just finally to you both. One of the central challenges we've had with the Scholarship Secretariat and its current setup is the way it lends itself to political abuse. The minister tells us that they now have introduced clauses in there to deal with this, one of which clearly bars politicians from benefiting from the scholarship once this bill is passed. Are you happy with the provisions as proposed in this bill? Daniel? Let me put that to Kofi. Kofi, are you happy with that?
How the bill will deal with issues of nepotism, and so in that regard, looking at putting in place a stronger governing board was also discussed. One of the main key issues for us at the National Union of Ghana Students is to put in a provision that ensures that funding should be available before scholarships are awarded. It's one of the key provisions that we really stressed on because even as the minister mentioned, as he played the voice, we have several students stranded abroad with scholarships that have been awarded that are not being honored. And so once this bill is able to take care of that, and we also stress on the need for sanctions, where if scholarships where they knew very well they didn't have funding for, there should be sanctions that should apply.
Okay, those are interesting proposals. And Kofi, give me your quick comment on the current proposed provisions to deal with political abuse.
We made was the inclusion of sanctions. There are sanctions for students who do not comply with the terms of the scholarship, and they are made to repay. Okay, but there were no sanctions for public officers who award scholarship against the dictates of the law. And so we have insisted that there should be in the law a sanction for the awarder of the scholarship. If any public official awards scholarships to the wrong people, we hope that that will also be considered.
Thank you very much. Kofi Asare, the Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch. Daniel Kole Boche is the President of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUG. So live here on Newsnight is on Joy 99.7 FM. We are counting down right now to the mid-year budget review that will be presented tomorrow by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kesela Tafosing. And ahead of that, we'll be doing a bit more from the IMF latest report, where we're learning the government has pledged to the fund to limit public sector wage hikes to 10%, alongside a projected decrease in expenditure on goods and services for this year. The commitment is in the IMF latest report on Ghana, which cautioned that significant fiscal deviations could jeopardize the program. Now, this development comes ahead of the media review tomorrow. We'll soon hear reactions from the business community and go to Parliament for more. Joy News Research has been studying the report, and my colleague Kojo joins me in the studio with more on this. What exactly was government's word to that fund?
Evans, let's go to page 9 of the latest IMF review, and it says that, quote, on the expenditure side, the 2025 budget comprises measures that aim at containing primary expenditure, including capping public sector wage increases to 10%, limiting spending on goods and services, and rationalizing operations of several statutory funds, and eliminating spending programs with limited value for money, and carefully pacing execution of foreign finance investments. And we try to link this to what the minister, Dr. Kesa Atifosin himself, said in the budget. He says that they were going to complete the work on the revision of the single spine pay policy to quell the incessant agitations of organized labor, with special emphasis on linking pay to productivity. And they said that this will reduce the wage overruns emanating from ad hoc reviews in conditions of service fueled by the in-year labor agitations. And they said that public institutions have actually exploited this weakness by staging protests to agitate for enhancement in their conditions of service, or a backdoor way of increasing consolidated salary. So this is what we are learning from both the IMF program and what the finance minister said in the main budget in March.
And that is one key item we're watching very closely, this issue regarding the expenditure, but also what this will mean for the wage bill ahead of this media budget review. And tomorrow we are all over this from 10 a.m. You want to join us for a special coverage of the media budget review, starting from 10 all the way till it's done, with post-analysis as well. And talking about the wage bill, though, some expectations ahead of tomorrow, though, in the context of what the IMF program itself expects. The deputy spokesperson for the Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Philemon Japan, says that they are expecting the government to provide a roadmap for the recruitment of nurses who have graduated but are yet to be employed.
The three agreed conditions factored into the budget. Nurses are expecting to hear the mention of nurses and midwives' conditions of service mentioned in the budget, and the fact that they are also important employees or essential service staff in Ghana. Secondly, nurses are looking forward to the bigger, broader budget, which will be ready in November, to encompass all the other allowances that have been pushed to next year, 2026.
But in terms of recruitment, there's the question whether government will be able to recruit more nurses. Is it an issue that's on your table as well?
That is a very important discussion that we are having now. We have shortages, and we have about 50,000 nurses that are waiting to be recruited. So the government must factor the recruitment of nurses and midwives as part of the budget. They must consider those who have stayed home for 3 years, 4 years, and then employ them, and then have a sectional recruitment process as and when the budget can contain. At the moment, we have heard of teachers recruitment and different other cadres. Meanwhile, there are promises in by the Minister for Health that the government is envisaging building new chiefs compound and building new health centers. And I believe nurses and midwives are the key staff that are going to work in such areas. So we are looking forward for recruitment of nurses and midwives.
I want to bring in the Association of Ghana Industries now, the AGI. Chonam Akpelo is the president of the Greater Accra branch of the AGI, joins us right now. Chonam, I'm grateful that you could join us. And ahead of tomorrow's media budget review, certainly the AGI are going into tomorrow, waiting to listen with excitement, are you not? Considering how stable the CD is, its strength against all the major trading currencies, and inflation now trending downwards.
Thank you, and good evening for having me.
Yes, it is exciting times. It's good to admit that the economy has been fairly stable over the past couple of months. And so our expectation is that we continue to want to see a more stabilized environment and actually a situation where will be sustained. But the main thing for us really is about how the 24 economic program will roll out in terms of the specific promises that were made under the program. Our expectation is that the minister would itemize the allocation in terms of tax rebates, incentives, and so on for private sector to benefit from. We do not expect introduction of any taxes. Yes, and so if anything at all, we would expect that some taxes are taken off or the rates of taxes are reduced.
Any particular tax you are expecting a reduction or complete scrapping?
Actually, we are looking forward to seeing how the whole VAT issue is resolved. We've had a long-standing concern about how the VAT is calculated. So, VAT, it's a consumption tax. It's an input-output tax. And so we input 21% rate and are only able to realize 15%. So there's this 6% in the middle that we want the government to consider to deal with. And so we are hoping that there will be pronouncements on the finality of how the whole issue of VAT is resolved and calculated.
Thank you very much. Chonam Akpelu is the Greater Accra branch president of the Association of Ghana Industries, and we are learning a bit more about what we can look forward to as far as the Finance Minister's statement in Parliament tomorrow is concerned. The chairman of Parliament's Committee on Economy and Development, Eric Affo, has hinted that tomorrow's mid-year budget review will stick with the total appropriation approved in March, and no request will be made for additional funds.
An investigation I've done so far is that the government will not come to the House to ask for additional funds. That's the first thing I want us to establish. We are not coming to the House to, ask for additional funds to execute the budget or the budget for 2025. What we are going to do is that we are going to stay within the appropriation of 293 billion that was programmed to execute the 2025 budget. For that matter, the presentation will be done through a statement, not through a motion. A statement means that the government is not asking for additional funds. So the members of parliament will only do or will have a comment on the statement. But when it is through a motion, that is where a full debate will be conducted. That's the first thing. 2, we are expecting that the government will lay more emphasis on some of the flagship programs within the 2025 budget statement, more especially on Big Push. The government appropriated 10.3 billion Ghana cedis for Big Push. In addition, the government appropriated 32 billion Ghana cedis for capital expenditure.
And that there is the chairman of Parliament's Economy and Development Committee. We are all over this tomorrow for you here on the Joy News channel from 10 a.m. You do not want to miss it. Still live your news night on Joy 99.7 FM, and we have some news just in details right after George. It has to do with Mustafa Hamid, the former CEO of the MPA, accused of fraud and corruption. That case went to court today, and himself and the co-accused have been granted bail to the tune of 2 million cedis. You're just learning that some of the other accused have failed as of tonight to meet the bail conditions and are currently still behind bars. Only Mustafa, from what we understand, has met the bail condition. As of 6 p.m., the rest of the 6 could not meet their bail conditions and have been detained. I will bring you more on this right after George is done with business. Hello, George.
Well, Evans, coming up, government directs Lands Commission to decentralize operation to all districts in the country, whilst giving up to 90 days turnaround for all applications. And Finance Minister Dr. Atufosun to use media budget review to highlight work done by the new administration to stabilize the economy, whilst highlighting a commitment to fiscal discipline. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business.
Ma, have you received the delivery?
Sis, yeah, the rider's bay. Send in the momo.
Okay, *176.
Pow, don't you use a smartphone? Use the momo app, ne?
Huh? Abba app.
Hey, I want to say a millennium, say millennial. Inyim. Oh, millennium for ya nyaze. Switch to the app. Oh, you're smart. No, you're secure.
Enter a world of possibilities with the Momo app. Pay your favorite merchant, pay utility bills, and borrow from our wide range of lending services. Move to the app side today. MTN.
Ama, big news! Star Oil is now the largest oil marketing company in Ghana.
Wow, that's huge!
Yes, the largest distributor of petroleum products in Ghana. Ever since I switched to Star Oil, my car runs smoother. The fuel lasts longer, no strange engine sound, just clean, powerful performance.
Oh, same here. I used to refill every 3 days until I switched to Star Oil. Now, my fuel lasts way longer. I don't know what magic is inside, but my car loves it.
Exactly. It's not magical. From Accra to Kumasi to Tamale, Star Oil day everywhere with 240 filling stations and counting. That's why more Ghanaians are choosing Star Oil.
Hey, my tank is almost empty. I am heading to Star Oil right now before the queue starts.
I'm right behind you, Amma.
We set out with a mission to serve better and lead boldly. We're proud to say we are Ghana's #1 oil marketing company. To our loyal Star savers across the country, thank you for believing in us. Star Oil, quality and affordable fuels for all.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc.,
Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call.
With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
Brush your teeth every day and night. Up and down and all around. Brush it feeling bright. Brush your teeth. Brush with mom and dad. Underneath and in between. Brush the germs away.
Pepsodent, cavity protection.
For 10 times stronger.
This advert is FDA approved.
M&C Group is a leading investment holding company with expertise in minerals and food commodity trading, precious minerals refinery, real estate development, and logistics and energy. With individually registered companies, our headquarters is located in Accra, Ghana, with operational offices in Dubai, UAE, Hong Kong, and Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, Virginia in the USA, and Milan, Italy. We connect business markets and drive growth. Trust us to maximize value in every deal. Call us on 0302 551 917 or 0302 551 918 or send us an email mncgroup@mncgroupgh.com. MNC Group, totally reliant.
Every mosquito starting run away.
This advert is FDA approved.
You welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, government has directed the Lands Commission to decentralize its operations to all districts in the country. It has also been given up to 30 days as turnaround time for all applications to be worked on at the Commission. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Marco-Fibua, was speaking at Government Accountability Series program at the Flagstaff House today.
I'm happy to announce that 90 new district offices in underserved areas have been so far identified. It is expected that by the end of this year, every district will have Lands Commission office. This initiative aims at bringing land services closer to citizens, in reducing congestion at regional offices and strengthening land governance at the local level. In addition, the Lands Commission is working towards a turnaround time for the completion of all applications within 30 days. This is very critical. And when the president talks about resetting Ghana, it means making life a little more convenient to the people of Ghana. There's no point in anybody in Elembele who wants land services who have to travel to Takoradi to have land services. There's no point. And so this effort is really going to make life very convenient for the people of Ghana, save them a lot of money, and bring efficiency to the operations of the Lands Commission. But we are not stopping there. We also are very much aware of delays.
Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Marco-Fibua. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Atforson is set to present the mid-year review of the 2025 budget estimates to Parliament tomorrow. The minister will use a presentation to highlight work that has been done by the new administration to firmly stabilize the economy. The minister is also set to draw the contrast between when they took over and the current state of the economy. Dr. Atforson will also indicate government's commitment to exercise the needed fiscal discipline in the coming months to the end of the year. Meanwhile, economist Dr. Edu Sakodie says he expects the minister to review the macroeconomic targets.
If you talk about inflation, currently it's around 13%. The target was 11.9%, and we are just halfway through the year. So by the end of December, if everything stays on course, as we say in economics, if all things be equal, you're likely to hit single-digit inflation by the end of the year. So the revenue projections, or the government, I'm sure we are likely as a country to do better than all the targets that we set in the main budget. In terms of supplementary estimates, I am not too sure whether the minister will ask for supplementary estimates.
Economist Dr. Edu Owusu Sarkodie. Now, a finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Eliklim Agbeloyo, is projecting some significant cut in Bank of Ghana's policy rate. The finance lecturer is pegging the rate of reduction at about 4%. There is more in the following Business Desk report highlighting his reasons.
be one of the biggest margin of production that has been projected by an analyst when it comes to the policy rate. This will bring the rate down from the current 28% to 24%, that is, if the Bank of Ghana should go this way come next Wednesday. The finance professor is basing his prediction on the significant drop in the rate of inflation over the past month, which will influence this cut by the Monetary Policy Committee. Professor Abloyo in his write-up further argued that due to the current development on the global market, the Bank of Ghana will want to cut by this margin, wait for a while, and drop the rate again in September by 200 basis points. Recent developments at the Bank of Ghana when it comes to its short-term bills have supported these predictions, especially when the central bank itself has cut its rate of its short-term bills from 27 to 13%.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, Chief Director at the Ministry of Employment, Labour Relations, Hamid Abubakar, has placed an urgent call on all stakeholders to actively participate in the Ghana Career and Migration Fair. Mr. Abubakar made these remarks during the launch of the Ghana Career and Migration Fair in Accra.
Fair scheduled to take place on the 17th September 2025 will provide the platform for stakeholders to address the employment needs of the people, especially job seekers, ensuring that they are equipped with the skills, knowledge, opportunities, enter the labor market for decent employment opportunities outside the country. All stakeholders, governments, private sector, development partners, academicians, and civil society to actively support this agenda, participate and make the most of this initiative. Let us together make this year's Career and Migration Fair super successful.
Hamid Adakruku is a Chief Director at the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations. Now, more institutions and the country's development partners are projecting that the country is now likely to end the year with a single-digit inflation. The latest accounting firm Deloitte, and James Ishen has the rest of the story.
According to the professional services firm, the sustained disinflationary trend gives the Bank of Ghana sufficient headroom to resume its interest rate cut, which could start at its July MPC meeting. Deloitte continued that the combination of fiscal consolidation and further policy adjustment will ensure a sustained decline in inflation in the second half of the year. It's, however, warned of upside risk, including ongoing global shocks and tariff adjustment, for example, the 2.45% increase in electricity tariff, resulting in higher production costs and price of goods and services. Again, it expressed worry about the implementation of the one-city fuel levy on petroleum products, as it described it as another upside risk that could increase fuel and transport costs.
And that is James Ishen with that report. And that's all for Business on Newsnight. Back to you, Evans.
And thank you very much, George. And George will be leading our team in our coverage tomorrow of the media budget review. And George, thanks for the brilliant work you always do when it comes to these matters. Yourself, what are you expecting?
Well, nothing much. This will be a normal review. Don't forget what the chairman of the committee said, that the minister is going to present a statement and there wouldn't be any room for debate. So look at, the minister will come in and review what has happened over the past 6 months and also project going into the end of the year. And as we explained, Evans, the minister would want to make this critical point about what was the state of the economy when he took over, what he promised the public, especially when he appeared before the appointment committee, the things that he said and whether he has been vindicated or not, and going forward, the promise to exercise that needed fiscal discipline to sustain the gains that they've made over the past 6 months.
I'm looking forward to this tomorrow, and you want to join us from 10 a.m. all the way till when it's done. We'll be doing some really great pre-analysis, and then we'll launch into a post-presentation analysis, myself, Wasting, and a host of other crack economic minds will all converge to analyze this, and you want to join us for that also across our many social media platforms. And the developing story around the NPA scandal, which is now a subject of a court action. We now know today that Dr. Mustafa Hamid, who is a former chief executive of the National Petroleum Authority, has been granted bail in the sum of $2 million following his arraignment in the $280 million extortion and money laundering case filed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. We're now learning tonight in the last few minutes that he has met his bail condition, and so he can go home as we speak as of 6 p.m. The rest of the 6 who were all accused together with him could not meet their bail conditions and have been detained. The 17 lawyers, we understand, were in court today to represent all the accused, with the courtroom very packed. Corridors were packed to the rafters, with 3 imams and supporters of Mustafa Hamid all present there to give him their backing. We'll keep a close eye on that developing story. We'll bring you the latest as and when we have it. Let's do sports now. Musbah is joining me with the latest.
Yeah, Evans, the third place game in the 2025 WAFU B Under-20 Boys Cup did take place today at the University of Ghana Stadium. It involved Ghana and Niger, and Ghana managed to nick down one by 2-0. Now, Ghana, first goal scored in the 70th minute by Aziz Misbah, who calmly converted the penalty. But there was a bit of dramatic turn in the 67th minute when Niger players briefly walked off the pitch in protest of a penalty that was awarded to Ghana for a handball in the box. It took CAF officials' intervention to restore order for play to resume, and then Aziz Misbah, player for the Ghana 20 side, managed to convert it and give Ghana the lead. Ghana went on to score a second in the 78th minute, and that sealed the win for Ghana, lifting the bronze medal in the third edition of the WAFU B Under-20 Boys Cup. For the Black Queens, they will also be in action on Friday for the third place game against South Africa in the Women's AFCON. But now we are 16 days to the Joy Sports Invitational on August 9, and a number of companies have already signed up. Well, the National Identification Authority is part of the companies that have signed up, and also IS Evolution Consult have also signed up. We were the offices of the National Identification Authority earlier today, and their CEO, Wisdom Yaira Koku Deku, says his team is ready and looking forward to lift the trophy.
It's on the penalty shootout, so I'll be partaking in the penalty shootouts and the e-games, and trust me, NI is taking every trophy back to here. You know, I take everything. So in fact, Messi told us how we should kick the penalty, the ball, and everything. So the team, we are all ready. We are training, and everything is on that. And trust us, if there is a cap on it, I'm sure when we finish, some of the international football clubs will come and hire us, and so that we can go and play through everything for them. Thank you very much.
Well, that's the CEO of NIA. They're looking forward to the penalty shootout. Also, the CEO of IS Evolution Consult is also getting ready for the tournament, and they say they are looking to improve upon their team's performance in the football category.
I think even tomorrow we even have a session. We've booked the training pitches. Everything is already set. So we've been on this for saying that last time after the games we know the football didn't go well, so we've been playing some friendly matches here and there, and I think we are all fully ready now to give our best. Yes.
Yeah, so registration is still open for all companies to get on board. If you haven't done so, just head to myjoonline.com and you'll get more details on how you can get to register your company. We'll come to your offices and interact with you as we build up to the big event on August 9. Evans, that's it.
What will you be doing yourself? You were telling us everybody else is discipline.
Well, I've been training for
what?
I've been training for the what do you call it, the basketball bit. You know,
basketball.
Yeah, basketball. You know, there's free throw-ins that's going to happen. So I've been training.
Throwing?
Yeah,
not everybody can do that.
No, but it's part of the game, and that's what I'm interested in. I want to do that. Understand you've also been readying for the 100 meters dash.
I don't want a 100-meter dash anymore.
No,
I want a 200-meter dash.
200 meters. You want
Yes, because that really is...
It's too short,
you mean? Too short. I want to prove to your colleague that you need endurance to win a 200 meters.
Okay, you need endurance to do the 200
and
meters.
he hasn't got that.
He hasn't got the endurance.
Because you can't spend the amount of time I spent in the gym and just to come and waste it on a few seconds. You know, so I want to go the longer distance.
We understand this time around, you're not just going to be doing with him. There are a few others.
Oh no, I want you part of the...
Okay, we'll see. We'll see if I can substitute Mustafa. If not, you have to represent the Joy
leave
Sports.
the throw-ins for, come and join the
I think we
boys.
should expand it. Joy Business gets a representative. Your desk also gets another. We have the entertainment desk gets another. We'll see. Not bad. We'll see who.
Come and join the men. Let's separate the men from the boys.
Yeah. So 200 meters is a day. I guess 9.
And when I'm done, I probably will do the full field.
I guess 9. We'll see.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, talking about getting onto the field, you need a strong heart to manage what I am planning to do when we go for that invitational tournament. And that is why I'm excited to tell you about this story. Because Ghana has hit a major milestone in heart care, performing its first ever cardiac ablation. Now, the life-saving procedure treats dangerous irregular heartbeats and was once only done abroad. Now, a local and international team has brought it home, offering hope to thousands at risk of sudden cardiac arrest. John Lucy Stephen Mensah witnessed the historic operation, and here's his report read to you.
Amma, not her real name. A 32-year-old whose life has been shaped by a heart that beats out of rhythm. A short walk left her breathless, dizzy, and afraid. She did not know when her heart would give out. Today, inside the theater at the University of Ghana Medical Center, Amma becomes part of medical history. The first among a handful Ghanaians to receive a cardiac ablation right here at home. It is a lifeline procedure. For years, patients with arrhythmias, a dangerous condition where the heart beats too fast, too slow, or irregularly, had only one option: fly abroad, spend tens of thousands of dollars, or wait for the obvious: death.
These people, it's not because of any particular risk factors or any particular lifestyle choices, but they're born with it. And usually what is sort of quoted is that about 15% of the population is born with an additional wiring, and out of this 15%, a large percentage of them can end up having SVT.
But this week, that's changed. Ghana joined the League of Nations able to treat these silent heart threats with cardiac ablation, a minimally invasive procedure that uses heat or cold energy to destroy faulty electrical signals in the heart.
We try to use medicines first, but medicines can only go so far. So when medicines fail and don't take care of the whole problem, then catheter ablation provides a definitive treatment. First of all, it's not surgery because we don't actually cut or make an incision. We generate heat through the catheter to damage that tissue and cause it to stop there fast.
It's a medical marvel, but one still far out of reach for most.
So there are only a limited number of places that we can do these types of procedures because you have to have a well-functioning cath lab. And the only 2 places really that have the kind of equipment and the kind of basic equipment on top of which we can add the other equipment that we're bringing at the current time at National Cardiothoracic Center at Kolebu, and then University of Ghana Medical Center. They're very costly.
According to the World Health Federation, over 48,000 Ghanaians died from cardiovascular diseases in 2021 alone. Some of these deaths were preventable if only treatment came in time.
So there's a lot of electronics involved, and that makes it expensive. And then there are also the catheters, those are the disposables, the catheters that are used, and the other supplies that are included. They make the procedure very expensive. If I were to make a guess, where all the supplies are being purchased by the patient, it's thousands of dollars, probably close to 10,000 for a procedure. I would like to see some governmental policies that hopefully address this need, because there's a large need of patients here.
Today, Amma's heartbeat is steady, but the beat of progress must reach a minimal like her, who live each day under threats from their own heart. Stephen Mensah, Joy News, Accra.
It's live here on News Niders on Joy and 99.7 FM. And that is is the signal for us to cross over to a team covering this year's National Science and Maths Quiz, and it was all fun and bragging in the Ashanti Regional Qualifiers after Osei Tree SHS qualified for the Zonal and National Championship, despite the school supporters being sacked from the quiz auditorium for defying instructions by the quiz mistress, and they were asked not to cheer, but they did go on to cheer. And so they were sacked. In spite of that, though, their school still went ahead to win. They ended the contest with 54 points, 16 points more than the second place school, Jachi Pramso. My colleague Collins was there for us and is on the line with us. Collins, tell us about this refusal to stop chanting when they were asked to stop it. And I'm curious how this affected those who were contesting on their behalf. It appears it didn't have any impact at all.
Yes, so Evans, this happened during the round 2, which is the riddle stage, and according to the rules, you don't expect the supporters to clap or keep clapping when the quiz mistress starts speaking. But that wasn't what was happening, despite cautioning from quiz mistress and also the organizers. So the final thing was that they were being directed to leave the auditorium, and this really didn't affect the contestants. They were leading that particular round after the round 2 with about 10 points. They went ahead to win all the last round. They picked all their questions in that, and they secured 54 points to qualify. And they've not won the zonal championship in the last 6 years, but they are hoping to win it.
And tell me about the other contests in Kumasi.
So, Evans, we had 4 contests happening in the Ashanti region, and Osei 1 was the first one. Afterwards, we had Kumasi Anglican, who last 2 years they won it, but they lost last year to Kumasi High. This time around, they came in and they also secured their points and also qualification to the zonal championship as well as the nationals. But you know, as Kumasi Anglican, when they come in, people expect them to win. They call themselves the disciples, and they claim that they are the first school Jesus Christ called them to be a school or educational institution in the country. So they don't expect any other school to come in to win the zonal championship next week, and they will also come stronger during October national championship, and they hope to win it after so many years that they've missed out. Bompata Presby SHS also came in the last contest, and they came with all the drama and the hype in there, and they qualified. And we also had the Quiet SDA also coming in, securing their second consecutive, also qualifying for the first time in 6 years also over there.
Thank you very much, Collins, and we keep watching what is unfolding as far as the National Science and Maths Quiz is concerned, and I'm pretty sure you know your school is involved. If your school is not involved, it's okay. You can join the likes of Papania Shale, who's standing on my shoulders, whose school is bragging quite a bit, hoping to do what, a 9th or a 10th, whatever it is. What they say they love scouts. Well, thank you very much, Collins. Still live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, the brand new NDC MP for Ablekuma North, Irabana Open, was sworn in yesterday. But it wasn't just her political debut that had everyone, including MPs, whispering. It appears her charm may have swept many off their feet in the male-dominated parliament. Even the Speaker of Parliament could not help himself. Yes, I'm talking about Alban Babing. And then there was a majority leader, Mahama Yariga, who decided to spice things up with some parliamentary humor. So what really happened?
Obin. Sex, female. Contact number 020-94-201. I saw some of you taking her telephone number.
We in the minority want to make a quick comment before the member-elect is sworn in.
It is
is not here this morning that he's going to be able to arrest anything. Please hold your fire. Let the speaker swear in the young lady. I know you didn't take her phone number. You can get it afterwards. And
please, she is not in the market, so please don't attempt.
Well, she's not in the market. Now we know, those of you wondering, and I was too wondering, she's not in the market. The Speaker of Parliament putting that debate to rest. Enjoy the rest of your evening. My name is Mensah.